that change though? What is this? This is about as prepared as I've ever been in my entire life, so that's pretty sad. This is like the first one of these I'm doing. I've had this in my mind for a while. I want to start doing this because I think I'm pretty hilarious. Or not. I just want to drop some education on the people. 20 of you that watch these, of course. Education is key. So, I have a lot of opinions on a lot of different things. I just have a lot of feelings. I was gonna start with reasons why your long distance relationships suck, but I was thinking about maybe getting my boyfriend to do that with me, even though I'm pretty sure he only has one major concern. Sex. What? I'm just kidding. Anyways, without further ado, here are blank number of reasons. Insert number of reasons here why confrontation is not a bad thing. Now, confrontation is a really touchy issue. A lot of people are gonna be like, why do you care? Don't like show that you'll even give a fuck because that hurts worse. No, that doesn't do for some people. Funny side note, I used to be one of those people that were like, oh, be the bigger person, don't be confrontational, like that's not cool. And then I grew up. I don't want people walking over me. It didn't make sense to me. By the way, look at this hair. Very cute. What was I going with this? People were trying to kind of make me feel bad, like certain situations. You should have just like left it alone because that just shows you care. And I'm like, I did care. Like, I feel like a lot of the time you're made to feel bad for giving a why. People handle situations differently. So my eyelash is coming off. And so that's why I wanted to do something like this. It's okay if you want to be confrontational in these situations, you know. I don't mean like someone bumps into you and then you're gonna go punch them in the face, but you can also do that if you want. I mean, free country. Okay, then. What? Because you'll never regret things that you say. That's some bull. Let me explain. Some things that you say you're going to regret because either you act out of anger or you don't really mean what you say. Now, if it is your truth and you've taken the time to realize that that's your truth, then you won't regret it. If someone does something really bad to you and you're upset, but then later on you realize that was a really crappy thing for them to do, that's your truth, you know, you understand that it made you feel that way. So telling someone to their face and being like, you know what you did was really friggin', you're not gonna regret saying that. If anything, you're gonna regret the things you didn't. Have you ever talked to someone or done something and you walk off and 10 seconds after you're like, damn it, I know what I should have said. You regret not saying things probably more than if you regret saying certain things. I mean, that's why they invented the term I'm sorry. Number 2, it's a sign of confidence that 1, you're not in the wrong, and 2, that you're very comfortable with yourself and who you are enough to be able to tell a person, you know what, I don't deserve that. You did that to me. Therefore, son in this equation is not working out here. It's a sign of confidence in the situation you're in. If you know you're not in the wrong, you've thought about it, and you're confident enough to be able to go up to someone and be like, no, that's BS. Even if it was you or ended up being a different situation, that opens up dialogue for you to find out where you went wrong too. And find out your other real truth. Boom. I'm like basically Gandhi. That leads me to another. Standing up for yourself is not a bad thing. Don't let people make you think because you're willing to stand up for yourself that makes you a bad person. Not a bad thing to be strong. It is not a bad thing to be open and honest and forward. You know why we in today's society decided that's to do? It's bad of you to tell a person what they did was like, why? It's not even an issue. I'm just saying facts, like real facts, okay? If that person thinks differently, then at least they have the opportunity there to tell you, I deserve the right to be able to stand up for myself and what I believe in and what I did at that moment and how I felt and how someone else made me feel. All of those combined show you my next point. Number 4, nothing was ever learned from staying quiet. Teach you in like school. If you got a question, ask it. If you see something wrong, then say it. We're trying so hard to get people to speak up against so many issues, and it's hard when you're constantly told, don't bring anything up or do anything, that'll just cause more problems. No one's ever learned anything from just staying quiet. Even if you're wrong, like I said, you're not gonna go and be ignorant when you know you were in the wrong. It can open up experiences for that person to learn and look into themselves, or for you to be able to learn and look into yourself. It can go either way, and that's good. It's good to be assured. It's good to find out new things about yourself. You can go back and try to solve the issue, or just be a learning experience for you. All life is a freaking series of learning experiences, but you're not gonna get that by just shutting up. I know there are certain times where or staying quiet might be better and safer and easier, but a lot of the time it's not. It's better to vocalize what you're feeling because then you learn from it. And think about this, if no one tells them they're in the wrong and they're really in the wrong, they're just gonna go their whole lives thinking that they're the victims or that that's the way they can act, when a lot of the time it makes people feel like, why the hell are you gonna do that? Don't do that. Who's gonna like them if they're always like a crappy person? You know what I mean? Next, not caring doesn't make you cool. I remember being young and this was just embedded into you. It's cool not to care. Why can't we care about things or the way people treat us? Like, that sucks. Everyone's always show them you don't give up. Why? I might as well be honest about it. 90% of the time when you say I don't care, you actually care. You should not be ashamed to admit it. I want to rant a little bit. I honestly think this goes back to men trying to convince women to shut the and yes, I believe in a lot of conspiracy theories, and this is one of them. I think it came from men telling women have an issue with someone else or the way someone is treating you. Just be a quiet little mouse and don't say anything because you know that'll make it better. If I have a problem with her, I'm just gonna make it look like it's okay and then talk behind her back. That's the way to do things. Like, you know, there are just some things you think about and you're like, how did someone come up with that principle? And it's not only in confrontation. It's when you're a teenager, you think not caring about your family or what your parents think, not caring about authority or manners, not caring about your education. One of my really good friends the other day were talking about it when we were like, we were some little How is it that we tell people not to care about some things and then care about the others? Like, we're giving them mixed signals. It's a good thing to give. It sucked. It was hurtful. Maybe it caused you physical damage or pain. Maybe it caused you emotional damage or pain. Maybe like you just don't even know why you care, but you care. Number... Probably could have put in the same category, but then I wanted more numbers, so. Nothing has ever been achieved by not caring. If people who were enslaved didn't care enough to revolt, revolutionize, get angry, other people didn't come in, there wouldn't have been change. Caring is what incites change. Caring about the person next to you, caring about yourself, and caring about things that are done to you is how you know there are things worth change. Yes, you have to care about the person you're confronting, and that's why it goes back to knowing your truth. You can't do it out of just pure anger. Even though after you've gone through the process of getting over the initial emotion, you might be like, hey, I'm still pretty ticked off. Be the bigger person, care, and do something about it. Incite change in society. Why would we be okay with just being complacent with everything? Then we complain about stuff. I mean, come on, guys. Number 7. It is not cute to be two-faced. I can understand respecting someone. I can respect a lot of people. That does not mean I have to like them or let them think I like them. If I don't like someone, I should be able to be like, yeah, I don't like you, I don't want to be around you, but like, I don't like the person, but that doesn't mean I think they deserve less from society than I do. That doesn't make you a bad person. Why are you going to go push yourself on someone that A, you don't want to be around, B, probably doesn't like you or want to be around you? You don't have to shut yourselves up each other's ass. And that just makes for fake friends. Who wants fake friends? I don't like friends that come up like, hey, what's up? And then like behind my back, they're telling someone how I tell my friends all the time, like if they're being kind of look how easy that was. Friendship. In life, there are just gonna be people you don't click with, and find people you actually do like. People that lift you up and make you better, and spend your time focusing on that instead of trying to be fake to someone. Number 8, honesty is the best policy. Like, I can't stress that enough. If you mess up, be honest about it. If you think you don't like something or someone else messed up, be honest about it. It's easier to defend because it's your truth. We all go through that phase where we're like, maybe it's better if we just lie. It's probably not though. Sometimes it's hard to explain your feelings and be honest, but it'll be worth it in the end. It's easier to stick to your truth than it is to make up these different lies or different stories. And even if you don't want to be confrontational, still be honest. Just be real. A lot of people today are lacking. Like, lying's really hard. Don't go lie just to make them feel better. I like people around me that are honest. Even if they're nice about it, they're still gonna tell me the truth. That's what you want out of relationships and friendships. You want honesty. You can't be honest with each other. I mean, we might as well just talk to ourselves into a camera. Hey. Next, talking behind someone's back. There are certain scenarios where that's okay. If you're gonna be constantly talking crap about someone behind their back, you need to be able to be like upfront and say it to their face. I'm very much an advocate for this. If someone's like, do you like this person? And I'm like, no, I think they're a piece of because they did A, B, C, D, E, Z, and back again over the alphabet. I come from a really small island. If I'm talking about someone, God knows someone is gonna know someone is gonna know someone that is friends with that person. And it's gonna be scary sometimes, especially if the person's bigger than you, or stronger than you, or scarier than you. But it's gonna be worth it because at least they can respect you for that. And like I said, opens up dialect for you to be able to discuss with that person. And sometimes that dialect is going to be a fist. If so, make sure you either know how to fight or you know how to duck. Simple. At least you have your dignity. Last thing about confrontation, you're never gonna get caught in a lie. It could be for the smallest of things. Like you told one friend that their dress was better than another, and then another friend comes up and is all like, but you told me my dress was better. It just saves you a lot of time. Those are all for some of the reasons why confrontation is not a bad thing. Okay, now these are a few tips. Some easy guidelines just to make sure things don't get too messed up, because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, this stuff can get really messy. But nowadays with social media, I mean, like, it's so easy to just confront people. Tip number 1. If thou art willing to dish it, thou must be willing to take it. Let me tell you that you need to be comfortable AF if you're gonna be able to confront someone. That's why I'm saying you need to know and figure out your truth before you do this kind of stuff. It is going to be embarrassing when you go up and you start calling someone out on their stuff and they turn around and call you out on some stuff that you ain't never want to hear in your entire life, even if it's true. You need to be comfortable with yourself. And don't go and be confrontational if you know you got some dirty laundry you don't want to be spilling, or some things that are gonna come up and you know they're gonna come up. Make sure you know how to defend yourself. Not so much physically, even though that might be something you want to look towards. More like you know how to defend your flaws. Tip number 2. Be cool, calm, and collected. It is so much more effective if you're there and you're just speaking in a normal tone and concisely getting your point across completely than it is if you're going in and you're gonna start raging. Thing is, sometimes you won't be able to control it. If you are put in front of a person that you have a really bad feeling towards, your emotions are gonna build up, and I know they're gonna spill. And that's okay as long as you can then come back and be like, let me explain. It's so much more effective. 1, because the other person can understand you. 2, because you're less likely to get into a physical confrontation, taking the time to calm down, taking the time to be able to go and confront that person. Because if you go before you are ready, bad things are going to happen. Tip number 3. Be honest about the situation, okay? I'm not saying just the way you feel about someone else. Be honest about your part. And someone comes up and is like, this is what you did that was crappy, and you can't accept it, or you're not willing to see that you might have possibly had an issue on your part, or you might have done something that may have offended this person. That's just gonna cause more problems if you literally can't face yourself. If you don't agree that helps with the situation or that has anything to do with the situation, accepting fault isn't a bad thing. Accepting that you might have come across the wrong way isn't a bad thing. So I'm just gonna go back and get real for a second. Sometimes a physical fight will ensue. A verbal fight, emotional fight, or a social media fight or something ensues. If that's the situation, do it one-on-one. I hate watching fights where 2 people are going at each other and then halfway through 8 other guys jump in for 1 person. If this is a fight between you and me, I better not see your little friend up in that place ready to jump into. Me and you are gonna settle it, not everybody else. You're gonna have to do the same with your friends. I know I have friends that are like, if someone does something to you, I'm gonna jump in. The only time you can jump in for me is if you see someone else jumping in, and then you can take care of that person while I take care of this person. What you can come in to do is pull them apart. But here's a loophole for all of you people that like to fight. Get hit while you were pulling them apart. Then you can hit. Otherwise, you should not be involved in that situation. Self-defense, people. That's key. Tip number 5. You need to go into this remembering that ignorance lives everywhere, that it's inevitable. There are going to be some people that you cannot debate with, you cannot reason with, that will refuse to understand your situation, and you have to be able to accept it. You have to be able to know that that's all you can do, to understand that at least you went back and you did what you needed to do, and you were open and you were honest and you were in front of the person's face, and that person can't tell you that you didn't have the balls to come up and be like, you know what, this is what I'm feeling. My last and final tip: when in doubt and when all else fails, just laugh it out. I know I'm that type of person, and it'll make you feel better. And when those situations where it just doesn't work out and you're like not gonna get across, when you walk away from each other, you should be able to crack up. And not because it was a bad thing to do it or you regret doing it, but the whole situation is just dumb. Sometimes you'll walk away with that having made a new acquaintance or having made peace with a person, and sometimes you're just gonna walk away when nothing was solved. Situations where the only thing you can walk away with is knowing that you did right by you. Like, you might have not done right by them and they might have not seen it that way and they might have not agreed or been open to the fact that they might have had an issue, but at least you gave yourself peace of mind and knowing, you know what, I went up to this person and I faced them and I told them the truth and I was honest and open, and that's what's good. But if I went and confronted someone and they were super ignorant, I would walk away and be like, what the hell just happened? And that's great. When you laugh it out, A, it's gonna make you feel better. B, it's gonna make everyone else around you feel better. It's gonna make people laugh. It's gonna make for a funny story. You're gonna be able to move past it and move on and be okay with yourself. And I speak from experience. You might have not come out on top for the whole situation. You came on top for you, and that's all that really matters. This was 10 reasons why confrontation is not a bad thing, featuring 5 tips for when you're confronting someone or when you decide to do that.